Hey everyone, it's Jamie here, and I'm bringing you this quick little video on how to transform your smartphone into a manifesting machine that works on behalf of you and your vision. Um, Basically, one thing I've discovered in my life and in my work, I think the biggest challenge facing us as human beings is the fact that we are both these spiritual beings who are embodied in these physical human forms. So what that means is we can get all sorts of divine information downloaded into us. We can get the big revelation, we can get the creative vision, we can, hear the angels sing and receive word of what we're supposed to be doing with our lives and how we're supposed to contribute to the world and what we're supposed to create here. But at the end of the day, as huge and as big and as cathartic as those breakthroughs might be or those visions might be, we still have to return back to our daily lives. We're still constrained by time and space. We have to show up each day. We have to take actions towards our goal while also dealing with what's immediately in front of us and the challenges of life and everything that is involved in being a human on this earth with family, friends, loved ones, society, culture, and all that jazz. And so what happens is there's this gap between what we know we want to create, what we want to bring forth in the world, that divine inspiration inside of us, and where we are right now. And in that gap, we have to show up. We have to put one foot in front of the other. And there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of unknown. And that's the place where our minds can start going crazy. It's the place where we can start getting anxious. It's the place where we can shut things down. It's the place where we can retreat in fear. And suddenly, that vision or that divine inspiration that seems so inspired in one moment, there are ways that we can really crush it, and then we kind of just end up in the same old loop over and over and over. So what is required for us as humans, and what I think is the real challenge for us as humans, is learning how to navigate the daily unknown gap of our lives and really sort of working with our own thoughts and our own life circumstances in order to create over the long haul what we want to create and to keep the vision alive. So on that note, I want to talk about the smartphone, and I just want to give you a few little tips and tricks to helping you work with your phone to create what you want to create over the short term or the long term. Now, I'm choosing the smartphone because, this is just such an obvious emblem and tool of modern day distraction. Everyone's always complaining about it, right? We go through our lives and what happens? We end up, having a little time to kill. We're standing somewhere, we're sitting somewhere. We suddenly don't have anything to do. We're in that place of the unknown and we start getting antsy. We don't want to be in that unknown place, so we whip out the phone and we just start compulsively checking things. And it kind of gives us this hit, right, of filling up the space and having somewhere to go with our energy, but we're not really getting anything back from the phone. It's kind of like a version of empty calories. We're putting a lot in, we're not getting a lot back out. So what I want to do is give you a little advice on how you can work with the phone to get a little bit more energetic bang for your buck. So first things first, a little exercise that I actually do all the time in my own life and that I talk about with my clients is the next time you find yourself sitting somewhere, standing somewhere, you're in that unknown, there's nothing to do, and you start grabbing for your phone so you can start to compulsively check things. Instead, just take a moment to put the phone down, and if you can, close your eyes. If you're somewhere public and that's going to look weird, don't worry about it. But basically, what you want to do is you want to go inward, and you want to feel that energy, that impulse inside you that wants to compulsively check the phone. And instead of using it to check the phone, use it to visualize what you want to create in your life. That can be a long-term big picture goal. It could even be a short-term goal for where you want to be by the end of the day. But the point and the key here is that you're actively making a conscious choice to take this energy that initially wants to get directed into a dead end, and you're instead directing it towards something that's not a dead end at all. And it's a vision that's going to feed you and nourish you and generate more energy and excitement in you. It may sound like a very simple thing to do, and in fact it is a simple thing to do, which is why it's great. It's actually a really powerful experience because you can often literally feel how you're consciously choosing where your energy goes, and that starts to create something. And once you have that physiological experience of making a choice around your own energy, that's something you can start bringing with you into many different areas of your life. Once you've done that, and you can do it as many times as you want, what I would then recommend is literally making an honest to God list of the default apps you go to start checking and to start filling in, time and space when you have time and space to fill in. And I think it's incredibly important and empowering to actually make a handwritten list and to see it in black and white. I go to Facebook, I go to Twitter, I go to Candy Crush, whatever it is. Because what happens when you actually write it down and you really let it come into consciousness is that the next time that you start going to those apps, there's going to be at least that sliver of awareness of what you're doing. It's not going to be quite the same level of default and lack of consciousness. And this isn't about throwing down a gauntlet of never do it again, but it is about starting to cultivate the consciousness over the long haul so that when you are going to the phone, there's a piece of you somewhere that's aware of like, oh, I don't want to tolerate this gap right now. And right now I'm in a default pattern of behavior and I'm filling in time and space. And on some level, I know this doesn't serve me. That level of consciousness, again, you're starting to create it in these little moments. The more that you create it and foster it, the more it's going to grow in your life as a whole. Now, having said that, if you have a powerful experience of that, if you want to take it a step further, what I would then invite you to do is start experimenting with deleting one of those apps from your phone. Delete 2 of those apps from your phone. Hell, you can delete all of those apps for your phone. You can even do it as an experiment just for 1 week to see what happens. Again, it's something I've done. It's something my clients have done. It's incredibly powerful to remove those default mechanisms from your phone so that when you're out there in the world and you find yourself with that time and space and you start grabbing for your phone, all of a sudden you realize, oh, bleep, I don't actually have that available to me anymore. And as a result, you really have no choice but to go back inward and start thinking about where you want to put your energy. What do you want to see for yourself? What do you want to visualize? I think another great way to use your phone as a tool for manifestation and moving forward is taking advantage of the wallpaper. This year is the first year that I made a vision board for myself. I found it a really powerful experience, and what I've done is I've actually taken a picture of it, and you can even just see a little bit. I've set that both as my wallpaper for my lock screen, and I've also set that as the wallpaper for my home screen. I think this accomplishes 2 things. One, it just brings my vision board into my daily life more often. I'm seeing it more often. The more I see it, the more it permeates my nervous system. But 2, if I am going to my phone to find little things to do or ways to deflect my energy, it's just a nice little reminder of where I actually want to be going. And it's a nice little detour or roadblock to basically say, hey, is this where you want to go right now? Is this what you want to do with your energy? And you know what? Maybe it is what I want to do with my energy in that moment. But again, at least I have the consciousness, and it's more of a conscious choice than just a default mechanism. On that same note, and this is my last tip regarding the phone, a lot of times what I like to do, if there's a certain behavior, let's say I'm a big compulsive eater and I love to binge eat ice cream. If I know that that's something that's not serving me, and on some level that dependency on ice cream kind of shuts my energy down and keeps me from, writing the next great American novel or whatever it is I want to do, a lot of times what I'll do, if I'm in a place of inspired knowing, where I know that that ice cream is not good for me and I need to drop the ice cream, or let's say I've just binged on the ice cream and I'm feeling kind of the post-binge nastiness and I wish I hadn't done it, I will record a video from myself to myself, basically saying, hey, I'm in the energy of your higher self right now, I'm getting divine inspiration right now, or hey, I just binge ate a bunch of ice cream and I feel bad about it. This is what I have to say to you. And it's basically my message from that viewpoint of these are the things to think about, on the other side of this experience. I want you to watch this video. I want you to really think carefully about what you're going to do and really, again, bring into consciousness what do you want to create and what price do you pay by indulging in a behavior that is actively standing in the way of the things that you want to create. When you have it on your phone, when you're feeling certain impulses towards behavior that you know doesn't serve you, you can bring the video up, you can watch it. It's like a message from your higher self. It's like a message from your future self. You can use that divine inspired place to literally send yourself a message and help you work with these impulses that come up that don't always serve you. So there's a lot more I could say about the phone, but I want to keep this relatively brief. Hopefully you got something out of this. If this is something that appeals to you, if you were inspired by anything I shared today, if you are someone who struggles with how to keep yourself consciously and intentionally aligned with the energy of your own vision, I'm offering a half-day introductory workshop this coming Saturday in LA. It's all about this. It is going to be a group that comes together, and it's going to be all about navigating the unknown. It's going to be all about feeling what you desire and what you want to create in your life, and what basically gets in the way. What is it that happens to you out there in the world when you're back in your life that shuts things down, and how are you going to work with it constructively, energetically, and consciously to hold on to the vision that's really fueling you. It's going to be dynamic, it's going to be experiential. I'm going to use radical aliveness core energetics, I'm going to use intuition and empath skills. It's going to be a dynamic group process, 1 to 5. So if you're interested, hit me up. You can message me on Facebook, you can write me at jamiesteinscripts@gmail.com and let me know. It's going to be a really great taste some really powerful work, and my intention is to really arm people with tools and resources so that they can go back out into their lives and really do what we're here to do, which is to kind of master this challenging human mind as we step into our spiritual purpose. Okay guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much. Bye.